Hey guys, it's Tootsie and I'm back. I'm actually feeling really better. Last video I did like on my phone and I was feeling really sick. Oh, hang on, I got like something in my eye. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, like I was saying, my last video I did on my phone and it was talking about how like I was like really sick and I am feeling better now, and so this is good. And so this video, you can tell by the title, is my elementary school experience. I decided like to do like videos of experiences I had like in elementary school, middle school, and high school. I actually have like 3 of my first day, my high school experience, and my senior year experience. I decided to make videos maybe to help people because I really want to be broad, because I started my channel. You know, I started a few months ago, and I don't really know what my audience is gonna be. You know, my audience is mainly just gonna help people, help young, the I don't know if and I really want to focus on like young adults, you know, teenagers, but I don't know, because I hear like some YouTubers show how they have like kids, young kids who watch them and love them. So I don't know what my audience is going to be, and so I want to make videos to be very broad to an audience and kind of tell them about my experience, and even maybe people in high school, maybe they had a similar experience in middle school to me. Hang on, there is still something in my eye. I can see something. This is so attractive, I know, and I'm probably not even gonna edit that out. I'm probably just gonna leave it in and stuff like that. So, okay. Hopefully my eye ain't gonna keep bothering me. Okay, so back to what I was talking about, like, you know, maybe someone can have like a similar experience to me. And so that's just what I want to focus my channel on, is just helping people. You know, maybe they can have a similar experience to me, and maybe it can help them in some way, that they can like relate to me and know that they weren't alone in their experience. So for enough of me babbling on, let's get into this video. Okay, so my elementary school beginning is like I will be reading off of a notebook of stuff I wrote. Like I went to daycare. It was an in-home daycare. It's actually right down my street. This lady, I'm not gonna reveal names or anything. She ran the daycare, and she was, and so that's where I went from, like, since a little baby, you know, and all the way up through elementary school. And I would go, the bus stop would be right in front of our house, and so when I was in elementary school, I would go there in the morning. I would have breakfast there, and then I would go outside her house. It was, you know, driveway was a bus stop, and wait for the bus and go to school. And being at daycare, it did, like, I guess it helped me be a little more sociable. But even though when I went to elementary school, I was always the shy kid, because the kids at daycare, you know, there were a variety of ages, and there weren't any girls that were my age at first. They were either older than me or younger than me. There was no one my age. All the kids in daycare that were my age were boys. So I was kind of used to playing with boys, but the boys at daycare knew that who I was and stuff, but they weren't exactly maybe in my class. So the boys in my class at elementary school, like, you know, since I wasn't a complete girly girl and I wasn't a complete tomboy, I was interested, like, in girl things. I was interested in dolls and stuff, but I also liked playing with cars and trucks and blocks, as such as boys do. And so in elementary school and kindergarten, but I grew up going to my cabin where we did fishing and all that stuff, and a lot of stuff that's considered boy stuff. And so at that time and period, it was that girls can't do that stuff. And so it was very hard for me to connect, because I wasn't a girly girl, so I couldn't completely connect with the girls, and I couldn't completely connect with the boys. So I was kind of the outcast, and I was always kind of weird and kind of kooky, and so I was the odd one. And I kind of looked like a boy to a lot of people, because my hair was cut really short. It's what it was. It's how my mom had my hair cut, and it's what I was used to, and so that's what I just kept getting, because if I did grow my hair long, it would start to bother me, and so because I just wasn't used to it, and it would bother me, it would be very distracting, and so some people didn't even know if I was a boy or a girl, and so that was just kind of hard for me to be sociable. But I probably did, like, get along. I do remember playing with a lot of kids and get along, but like, you know, you were friends then. But if I think back at now, like nowadays, you know, more or less like acquaintances or people, you know, you just get along with. And so I was always kind of awkward and sociable, and I didn't always really know how to be sociable, even though I went to daycare. I think it's because I was just used to those set kids, and I wasn't around a variety of kids all the time. So it kind of helped me daycare, and it kind of not. So that was kind of like kindergarten. Oh, and also in kindergarten, I think it's like up until like 2nd grade, we were supposed to sit on the floor with our legs crossed. They call it crisscross applesauce or pretzel style. I couldn't bend my legs that way. My legs, they didn't cross that way. They just didn't. They just didn't cross that way. And so I sat like, I wish I could show, like, you know, like where my legs were at the side and they were kind of back like this. That's how I sat. And in my school, they were like, no, you can't sit like that because it's bad for your legs, you know. And my mom even asked my doctor. My doctor's like, you know, as long as they're comfortable with it, and, you know, if it gets uncomfortable, then the kid's not going to sit like that. So my mom just like, and so my mom was kind of upset with that because, so I had to sit with my legs straight out in the front, and, you know, that's kind of bad for your back. And so my back was turning, I really like leaning back like this. And of course, during reading time, since my last name letter is near the beginning of the alphabet, I was up front. And so my head is like crunched like this. I'm looking at the teacher like, yeah, my back and my neck hurts. Yeah. And so that was one thing I was always close to the teacher, so I got really used to being close to the teacher, and so, because I was always considered maybe teacher's pet. I think it's because I was always just close to the teacher, so I knew I had to behave. The teacher could see me because I was always, like, first, because they always did alphabetic orders, and since my name, you know, I was always usually the first, second, because my last name is near the beginning of the alphabet. Well, it was. And so, my mom knew. I don't know when my parents found out or when I was, but mental disabilities run in my family, and I don't know when I got tested. I don't remember getting tested. I do see a neurological doctor, and I saw him. I think I started seeing him when I was like 6 years old, so I've known him for a very long time, and so I don't remember. I just know that I just knew he was my doctor for this. I just always knew I was dyslexic. I don't remember my mom telling me I was dyslexic. I don't remember when I was diagnosed with ADHD. My mom just said that I had ADHD and dyslexia, and so I would be very open to it to the teachers. I would say, you know, this is me, you know, this is how I'm going to work, you know, so sometimes the way you teach ain't always going to work for me. And so, but the school never really, like, helped me about it until I got to 3rd grade. Like, I kind of remember, like, in my school, you would get tested to see if you needed to be in special education or not. And in 3rd grade, I finally went in special education because my test scores were really low because I'm dyslexic. I can't read. Even though it's not a test on reading, I can't answer the questions correctly if I don't know how to read it. And so, but in elementary school, it's like, you know, it depending on the year, you know, depending on when, like in my elementary school, after kindergarten, from 1st grade to 5th grade, there's 3 teachers for each grade. You know, you have your homeroom teacher, which teaches you about English and, like, writing, and, like, usually your social teacher, whatever. But then it's like with math and reading, with math, like reading, spelling, and what else? Yeah, like those 2 courses would be like, those would be separate, like, you know, depending on how you did last year. We had to take a test at the end of every year to see what level we would be in, you know. One teacher would teach the advanced, one teacher would teach the middle, and one teacher would teach the end. I was always at the end. I was always at the lowest stream. And so, and then the other classes during the day, like science and social studies and history, when I got to 3rd grade, I was not in those history and science classes. I had to leave at that time during the day, and I, you know, had to go to my special education area where they would teach me about reading and spelling. And so I mainly did reading and spelling and math all day long. I never learned about history that much. I never learned about, you know, science that much. And, like, normally at the end of the day, that the science and social studies would be at the end of the day, and I would go there and be, like, there for, like, the last 20 minutes of the class. That's when I would leave my special ed room. That's when my time would be to leave, because it depends, you know, like, you were told, like, at the beginning of the school year, you know, during that time, the special ed teachers would come get you and tell you, you know, what time you have to leave, what time you can leave. You'll keep an eye on the clock. Remember, they would give you a piece of paper with the clock on knowing what times you leave and stuff. Oh, I also kind of forgot. We also had art, which was one other type of art teacher, a music teacher, which was one music teacher for the whole school, art, and then gym. And I was in those classes, but I was, like, you know, taken out of science and history to learn about special ed. So I never learned about history, so I will talk more about this when I get to middle school. So I was expected to know things in middle school about history and science, but I didn't know them because I didn't learn them, because I wasn't in the classes in elementary school. So when I was in elementary school, you know, I never learned about history or science like that, because I was taken out to go to special ed rooms where they would do more reading with me and more spelling and stuff. And it was kind of stressful with being dyslexic, because it's stressful because it's like dyslexic, you know, I couldn't grasp letters. Letters looked the same to me. I would see them backward right. So it was kind of stressful because I couldn't grasp it and I didn't understand why. It's like I'm seeing it this way, but and it looks right to me, but it's saying it's wrong. So it was very, like, difficult, and it was very hard. And so, like, I hated when I had to work in groups in school. I hated when we had to get paired up, because I didn't want people to know. I didn't want people to know, because I discovered when I was younger, when people knew, I was teased and made fun of. And so I didn't want people to know. And so I hated working in groups if we had to read, because if I was given a book and, you know, we had to take turns reading paragraphs, like, I wouldn't be able to read it right, and people would be like, are you stupid? Can't you read? And so I hated working in groups. And so, you know, I was so scared of going to middle school, you know, from elementary school. And, like, in elementary school, I never knew. I thought people were my friends, but I found out when I got to middle school that they weren't really true friends. Because also in elementary school, with being in special ed, they had this thing called friend time, where it was a certain time of day where you get to pick somebody from your homeroom class of who you would like to do a little kind of play date with. They had all sorts of games, all sorts of board games, all sorts of, like, different types of. They had, like, even a small little pool table and stuff at the special ed area. And kids really enjoyed that they get to leave class for, like, 20 minutes and go do that. So people were nice to me for that, and nice to a few of my friends that were in elementary school. And because they liked that. And they liked it that we could do that. And so that was one reason why kids were nice to us and stuff. So it's like people would tease me for not be able to read or understand things right, but then they would also be nice to me. So it was very confusing. So kids one day would be nice, next day they would be bullying me. I was very confused. And so, what else? Classes. Yeah, and my worries of going to middle school, because I was afraid that I was going to get so much homework, because I didn't get my homework much in elementary school, and it was also hard because my mom and dad, they never learned half the stuff that I learned in school. And so some stuff that I was bringing home for elementary school, my parents didn't learn close to high school. And so it was hard. And my mom, you know, she was in special ed, and so she didn't get to take the like the regular courses that all the other kids did. She was in all special ed courses, and so she never learned any of the stuff. And my dad, he never learned the advanced stuff. Like, he learned all the basics in school, and it was just repetitive after that. And so he didn't know any of the stuff. And so I was very worried going into high school. And so that's my elementary school experience, you guys. I'm making several videos about, you know, my elementary school, middle school. I wanted to make several videos just so I can get a lot of videos out there, a lot of content, and so I'm not babbling on because I've been babbling on for 15 minutes, and that's a really long video. So I will see you guys in my next video, and so you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tootsie2525, same way it's spelled down there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!